Hey, so listen, maybe you've heard of Project 2025. And in this video, I'm not going to be talking about politics, but what I will be talking about is how a Project 2025 of your own can help you live your best life. So, hey, if this is your first time joining me, my name is Alex. I help people just like you build more wealth, have more financial freedom, have more options, and more joy in life. So, if that sounds like something that you're interested in, please consider liking, sharing, commenting, and basically follow me for more information like this. So, um, so again, maybe you have heard of Project 2025. Maybe you have not. Like I said before, I'm not going to be talking about politics here, but what I really want to do is I want to give you some context first. What is Project 20? What is the Project 2025? Well, it is a plan, a comprehensive plan that conservatives have been working on for decades. Okay. And this year, Project 2025, there are a number of initiatives and platforms that conservatives would like to uh, move America to. Okay. And so, like I said, I really don't care if you are a right wing or left wing person. What really matters is, do you have a Project 2025 for yourself, for your finances, for your family? That really is the most important thing. Because at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter who's in the White House, right? It doesn't matter who's in Congress, doesn't matter who's in the Senate. What matters more to you and your family, and whether or not you're gonna be able to have the dreams, the hopes, the aspirations that you really have, if you're gonna be able to achieve those things, really boils down to what you do and whether or not you have, in this case, a Project 2025 of your own. So, what is this? What am I really talking about? What does this look like? So, if you have a concrete plan for yourself, for your family, you are more likely to dramatically change your life. It makes a huge, huge difference. So, if you are a hairstylist, barber, an entrepreneur, anyone who wants to have more joy, more peace, more hope, more satisfaction, more financial security, then guess what? You're in the right place. So let me first talk a little bit about what a real plan looks like. All right. So can we talk about that first? So before I get started, if you're joining me, please put your name in the comment box. Let me know that you're watching. Let me hear some comments from you. Okay. So first, let's really look at it. What is a real plan? In this case, what could be a real Project 2025 for you and for your family versus just having some ideas, just having a dream, right? So let's look at what constitutes a real plan. A real plan first is something that is, number one, written. It must be written. You have to get your thoughts and your ideas out of your head and you must put them on paper. It's very important that you do that. Okay. And what you're doing is you're putting on paper your clearly defined vision, what it is you would like to see happen, what you would like to accomplish over a long stretch or a long period of time. So ultimately, this is your destination. Where is it you are trying to go? What's your destination? So that's number one. In order for you to have a real plan, it must be written and you must have a clearly defined vision or destination of where you would like to be. Okay. Do you have that for yourself for 2025? Next, you want to be able to break down the vision into into bite-sized pieces, into clearly defined goals and milestones. Okay, so you might have a project 2025 for yourself, and you might say, "Hey, this is what my vision. This is what I want my life, my finances. This is what I want it to look like by the end of 2025." And then what you do is you take that vision and you begin to break it down into various milestones. So, what would you have accomplished by the end of the first quarter, second quarter, and third quarter? See, this keeps you moving in the right direction. This makes sure that you're staying on the right path and that you are moving with the right amount of pace needed in order to reach your goal or to reach your vision by the end of 2025. All right. So let me know if this is making sense to you guys. I'd love to see your comments. All right. So it must be written, must be clearly defined, your vision. You must have clear goals. Okay. And once you have your clear goals, now you have strategies that you can use in order to accomplish those goals and milestones. Now, let me say a little bit about strategies and tactics. Tactics are those things that are a real short term and very specific. Okay. That it might be taking this approach versus that approach, right? But a strategy is something that is broader and more long term. Okay. So your tactics might change, but your strategy ultimately should remain the same if you want to be able to achieve your goal at the end of the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. All right. So now that you have strategies, you also need to identify what resources am I going to need in order to accomplish these goals. So you want to be able to highlight what resources do I need? How much money do I need? If you were going on a trip, right? You need to know how much gas do I need? How many times, how often do I have to gas up? If you have an electric vehicle, right? You really want to pay attention to where the electric charging stations are, because you don't have gas stations, you don't have electric charging stations everywhere like you do gas, right? So you got to be very strategic. Okay. So once you have your strategy, you need to know what resources, how much you're going to need in order to accomplish your next goal and your next milestone. All right. What obstacles and what challenges might you run into along the way? You need to ask yourself so you can plan for what you need to have in place in order once you hit those obstacles and those roadblocks. Do you have enough to stay on the pathway to where you're going? I think this is one of the biggest challenges that many entrepreneurs have, many people have when they are trying to accomplish some bigger goal or some bigger vision, right? A lot of times people have just enough to get started, but not enough to stay on the path, right? So people are really, really excited. They have just enough started, just enough money to get the business started, just enough money to open the business. They have just enough to be able to sign the lease on the building. But the next question becomes, do you have enough money to sustain yourself and the business for a certain period of time? Do you have enough money to pay for marketing and other overhead expenses for a longer period of time? Because again, you're not exactly sure and you don't necessarily know how long it's going to take you until the business starts turning over a profit. So you have to make sure that you have enough resources set aside or set aside in order to sustain yourself, sustain the business, to help you get yourself along your goal. So let me know if this is making sense, guys. So that's the difference between having a real plan and just having some ideas. Okay, and having ideas are really good, but again, there needs to be more specificity. There needs to be more specifics behind what you're trying to accomplish. All right. Why do you need a real project 2025? The reason why is because without a real project 2025 or a real plan for what you hope to accomplish for the new year, in all likelihood, you'll probably still be in the same place at the end of the year that you were in the beginning of the year. It's highly unlikely that you will be able to really, really accomplish some big, worthy, or worthwhile goal that you want to accomplish. It's very unlikely that you're going to accomplish that goal if you haven't taken time to write out a real, concise, concrete plan. So that's the reason why it's very important. Secondly, if you haven't taken the time to develop a plan for yourself, you don't know what resources you're going to need. You don't, and those resources could include money. Those resources include what blueprints or strategies do you need? What plans do you need? It could be who do you need? What coaches? What business advisors? Who do you need to hire to help move you along your pathway? All of these things become more clear when you sit down and structure your plan. So basically, you won't have the focus, and you won't have the resources needed and necessary to accomplish your goal truly unless you sit down and plan properly. Okay. So again, I go back to the example of 2025 plan that the conservatives have had. They have been working on this plan for decades. The Lincoln Heritage Foundation has been working on this plan for decades, since the 70s. Okay. And so it's allowed them to have strategies. It's allowed them to be able to structure. It's allowed them to have milestones, to start putting certain resources in place, to start learning what's working well and what isn't working well. Right. So all of these things are extremely important. As for me, my goal, my project 25, I'm focusing on the five F's. The five F's. And those are faith, family, finances, fitness, and fun. Those are my five F's. Those are the things that I want to concentrate and focus on for the new year. And what I always tell people now, if you don't have a project 2025 already developed, already written out, and you're not exactly sure how to go about doing it, then hey, no worries, no problem. The good news is you don't have to have one from scratch. You can always adopt someone else's plan, right? Someone else. In fact, the smartest people borrow from other people from what's working, right? And they tailor it to their needs. So you don't have to recreate the wheel. You don't have to structure something from the very beginning or create one from the very beginning. You can work from a plan that's already working and working well. So my goal is to help people have better business, better finances, more financial security, to have more financial freedom. So, if you are a beauty or barber professional, if you're a mom or a dad, if you're someone who would like to have more, just more life, bigger life, richer, more experience. If you want to be able to get more out of life for 2025, I invite you to follow, comment, like, and join me as we move forward and we begin to embrace uh, 2025 as it gets nearer and nearer. I'm going to be helping people create their project 2025 so they can live their best life. So if that's something that you would like to do, if you would like to have more out of life, if you want to be able to have more joy, more peace, if you want to be able to do things with what I call the five F's, which are faith, family, fitness, fun, and finances, guys, follow me. I'm going to help you do it for 2025 so you can live your best life. Please like, share, put your comments below. I love to hear your questions. Uh, until next time, I'll see you then.